Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I wanted to talk about cochlear implants. So if you guys know me or if you're new to my channel, then you should know that I have a cochlear implant on my right ear. I was born profoundly deaf and I got this cochlear implant when I was 2.5 years old. The reason why I wanted to talk about this is because not many people out there who are famous or well known have cochlear implants. There's my friend Jazzy. She also has a YouTube channel. I will put her link at the bottom of this. And I hope you guys go and follow her because she's really, really awesome and you guys would like her. She's more of a beauty blogger, so if you're into beauty and stuff, you should go follow her. Anyways, besides Jazzy, and I think there's a few other people with cochlear implants on YouTube, there's not that many people out there that, yes, there's deaf people, there's lots of deaf people, and there's people who do ASL, and there's people who do BSL, and there's people who don't do ASL or BSL, and we just wear cochlear implants to communicate. And so I want to be that kind of person that people can look up to. So I decided that I want to educate people on cochlear implants because not many people know about it. And I don't expect people to know about cochlear implants. It's not something that's well known and talked about. So I want to say thank you for watching this. And please don't forget to like and subscribe because that will make me so happy. And please comment below what you guys want to see from me because that's really awesome. And I know what to film because you guys want that. And I will put a link to my Instagram, my Snapchat, and let's go into the video. We're going to start with a definition of a cochlear implant. So, a cochlear implant is an electronic device that is surgically implanted into the inner ear, and it provides sound simulations to the hearing nerve, which is the 8th nerve in your head, by the way, and it gives a person with no hearing sensations of hearing. People with severe to profound hearing loss, which I'm in that range, who cannot hear with hearing aids are most likely required to have cochlear implants. And we are proper candidates for it because we have no hearing whatsoever. Like hearing aids who amplify the sounds, cochlear implants are like mini computers that sit on our ears, and they provide electrical impulses to the damaged parts of the inner ear, with the cochlea, most likely for most people, and it will provide sound signals to the brain. I'll show you guys what a cochlear implant looks like. Now we can go into the history of cochlear implants. A man that goes by Dr. William F. House, who was born in Kansas City and raised in Whittier, California, was a dentist who turned into an ear specialist when he took an interest in his family's business for research. He wanted to somehow stimulate hearing for a deaf person, so he thought it would be a right idea to do it with electric sounds. He was heavily criticized by other surgeons and doctors, and they all thought that he was crazy. He officially invented the cochlear implant in 1961. He had put the electrical metal into the patient's cochlea, but the body rejected it. It became successful in 1969 when the longer lasting model was successfully developed and the patient's body didn't reject it. It was introduced to the world completely in 1972. Now, Graham Clark, an Australian doctor, invented the bionic ear. It's a multiple channel cochlear implant in 1981. And that's what I really know about the history. There's Wikipedia and whatnot, but that's just a small part of the history of when it was invented and who it was invented by. Now, I'm going to go into the degree of hearing loss. So, everyone with a hearing loss have different degrees of hearing loss. A person who is an audiologist, checks everyone's hearing and check deaf people's hearing to see the amount of hearing loss that they have. So an audiologist would sit in a sound booth and they would test the individual's hearing. The audiologist would mark how you hear on a chart, and it's called the audiogram. It tells you how you hear different sounds and speeches at different pitches and loudness levels. So those are the two main things, loudness and pitch. Hearing is measured by decibel levels, which is dBHL. You can see it right there, wherever it is. And the number represents the softest sound someone can. The lower the number is, the better you can hear quieter sounds. I'm going to start with normal hearing. So you have 20 decibels and lower. So you can hear super quiet sound. Then a mild hearing loss is from 25 to 39 decibels. So this person tends to struggle following speech in noisy situations. Then a moderate hearing loss, where hearing aids are approved at this rate, or 40 to 69 decibels. So this person would struggle following speech without hearing aids. There's a severe hearing loss, which at this rate you can be certified for a cochlear implant, which is, it's a possibility, but you could be. From 70 to 89 decibels. So this person typically struggles hearing, and this person would need a really, really strong hearing aid in order to hear those things. Unless those don't work, then they're qualified for cochlear implant. A person with profound hearing loss, you definitely can get a cochlear implant. It's from 90 decibels and up. So a person would rely on lip reading or ASL without cochlear implant. I'm definitely in the 90s and up. So there's the audiogram. So people with normal hearing are in this section. You're normal. So this is mild right here. So you can see the 40. So the 20 and up is normal hearing. See, the smaller your numbers here are, the better you can hear. This is called the speech wave U thing. And so this is where the letter I would stand for. And pitches are from low to high here, and from quiet to loud. So I is a very low pitch, whereas THs are very high pitch, and they're quieter on this chart because they're higher up. Whereas the lowest one, I think it's NG or L and R's, because they're low and they're louder to pronounce. And then moderate hearing loss, you would be in this degree here. And remember, this is low pitches, these are high pitches. And the lower that you get, the more severe your hearing loss is. So without my cochlear implant, I can't hear all of this. This question does come up a lot, and I would like to clear it, is why can't all deaf people just get hearing aids? Solve a problem. As I said in the chart, there are different levels of hearing loss, and some of them are more severe than others. The reason why for a cochlear implant is because the hair cells inside my cochlea are damaged in the sense that they can't pick up sound. The hairs are supposed to pick up the sounds and the vibration, but for me and for a bunch of other deaf people, they don't really do that job. What the sounds would do, it would get picked up by the hair and the cochlea, and it would get sent through the 8th nerve, which is the audio nerve, and it would be into the brain, so you guys can hear. I want to talk about requirements to get a cochlear implant. So not everyone can get a cochlear implant. And as I said, you need a severe to profound hearing loss in order to get a cochlear implant. For example, a person who has no hearing in one ear and hearing in the other ear, they're not qualified to get a cochlear implant because that would be too much work for their brain to have natural hearing and then electric hearing. And that'd be two very different sounds competing in their brain, and that would be too much work for them to hear, and it would be quite annoying. If someone's hearing starts decreasing, they should be very, very closely monitored by audiologists to see if they can be qualified for a cochlear implant. This is how the cochlear implant works. So, the sound processor captures the sounds that get captured into the microphone by the cochlear implant, and it does a conversion of the sounds into digital codes. Then the sound processor transfers the digital code into the coil, which is this part here, the outside magnet of the cochlear implant, and it would get transferred to the implant, which is actually inside my head. So the magnet that's inside my head would get this sound. And that magnet's right under my skin. It's not in my skull, it's not on my brain. It's just right on the skull on my implant, not inside. Just to let you know. The implant converts the digital codes into electrical signals, and it proceeds through the electrode array, which is inside the cochlea. And then the electrode array stimulates the cochlea's hearing nerve fiber, which is the 8th nerve, which passes the sound signals into the brain to produce the sensation of hearing. Now I'm going to talk about how does hearing loss happen. So there's 4 parts of the ear: the outer ear, the middle ear, and the inner ear, and then the brain. So I'm going to start with the outer ear. Sometimes children born without a pinna, which is this thing here, the little curve inside here, or an outer ear, this whole thing, a person can lose their ear in an accident. That can cause a hearing loss. A person can have surgery to build an outer ear, or they can get bone construction or a hearing aid that is surgically placed into the bone in the ear, which is called the mastoid bone. The middle ear, sometimes there's a problem with the eardrum or the middle ear bones, so usually surgery can fix the eardrum or the middle ear bones. This can improve a hearing loss. This is called a conductive hearing loss. Now, the inner ear, which is the hearing loss damage that I have, and a hearing loss in the inner ear in the cochlea is called sensual neural hearing loss, and it cannot be fixed with surgery whatsoever. And the hair cells in the inner ear are damaged, and they cannot be regrown. But scientists are working on experiments right now to try and grow the inner ear hairs inside birds, which is scary. Children and adults who have inner ear damage are most likely the ones who wear cochlear implants or hearing aids to help them hear. And then my final part is what can cause a hearing loss. So many children are born without hearing, and the reason is most of the time unknown. Sometimes a hearing loss can be a part of the family genetics, and it can be passed on, and it's called a genetic hearing loss. And for example, the famous deaf person that you probably heard of, Niall. Niall. His family has genetic hearing loss, and those families are the ones who are more into ASL because that's how the rest of their family grew up to be. Sometimes children and adults can become sick with a very, very powerful illness. Toxic drugs that are used to help heal them can also take away their hearing loss. That could be one of the side effects. Sometimes a hearing loss is caused by illnesses like meningitis or a tumor, which is really unfortunate. So that's all for my video today. Please give a big, big thumbs up, and please comment, like, subscribe, and if you know someone who has a hearing loss, or if you know some parents whose children are born deaf, I would love to have conversations with them. Please comment below. Please ask me anything. I am willing to answer questions. I'll see you guys next time.